red flag waving.
Meri Brown recently revealed that she has a new boyfriend named Amos, but in her Instagram post that introduced him to her followers, she only shared a couple of very basic details about him. Because of Meri's mysterious description of Amos, many people are convinced that she wasn't telling the truth about his identity. And now his ex-wife has revealed that not only are he and Meri both lying, but he's been looking for Meri for years. This story is truly unbelievable. I don't want to waste any time, so let's get into it. On January 16th, Meri celebrated her 53rd birthday by announcing on Instagram that she's been in a relationship since October. But aside from her boyfriend's name, Amos, the details she revealed about him were extremely vague. Meri's post included a few photos of herself and Amos, but the caption was so weird. She explained that Amos might not be super tall and he's not a pilot, but they both really like Christmas and laughing together. What Meri wrote about Amos was incredibly odd, especially since it could have described almost anybody. But if that wasn't enough to raise some red flags, what happened next made people even more suspicious. The following day, People magazine published an article about Meri and her new man, but the headline was worded so strongly. It stated that Meri was dating a guy called Amos, which seemed to indicate that Amos wasn't his actual name. Social media users immediately started investigating online to try to find more information on Amos, if that's even his real name. But before they could dig up too much dirt about him, the media had already uncovered one of his startling secrets. According to In Touch Weekly, Meri's boyfriend really is named Amos Andrews. However, the magazine also reported that in May 2000, he filed for bankruptcy. Not only that, but in the paperwork for the Chapter 7 bankruptcy filing, he was listed as a joint petitioner. It turns out that Amos was actually married at the time he filed for bankruptcy. In Touch also reported that his now ex-wife, Shannon Marie Martin, was listed as a co-petitioner in the bankruptcy documents. Even though most people were pretty surprised to learn about Amos's past, they figured that's probably why Meri had been so mysterious. But those weren't the only details that she was trying to keep under wraps. Just one day after In Touch released the article about Amos filing for bankruptcy, the truth about everything else slowly started unraveling. A few days after announcing her relationship, Meri went live on Instagram with her boyfriend and her best friend Jen. Apparently, Jen had previously met and spoken with Amos several times, but what they all ended up doing on the live stream was honestly unbelievable. Meri and Amos had arranged to be interviewed by Jen during the Instagram live. They must have wanted to get everything out in the open before people found out any more details from the media. What they disclosed about Amos's past was absolutely insane. One of the biggest bombshells from the interview was Amos's confession that he actually has 3 ex-wives. He also admitted to filing for bankruptcy nearly 25 years ago. Meri obviously knew about that beforehand, and she didn't seem concerned by any of it at all. Meri explained that she filed for bankruptcy years ago, so Amos having a similar situation wasn't a big deal. But it sounds like no matter what, she wouldn't have been bothered by his former marriages or previous financial struggles. Meri added that everyone had some sort of trouble in their past, but in her eyes, the most important thing in how someone works through those issues and what their life is like in the present. Another crazy moment was when Jen asked Amos if Meri being in the public eye and on TV had raised any red flags for him. He actually said yes, because he's a pretty private person, but at first he allegedly didn't even know about her being a successful reality TV star. Meri explained that when she and Amos first talked to each other, he mentioned that he doesn't let many people into his personal life, so she decided to wait until their second conversation to reveal the full extent of her sister wives' fame. Overall, it seemed like Amos and Meri had shared every major detail that people could possibly find on the internet. Jen even praised Amos for being so open and honest, but he had either been dishonest to Meri, or they were both lying to hide the shocking truth. At around the same time as Meri's Instagram Live, another article was published by In Touch Weekly. It turns out that Amos's claim about having 3 ex-wives was untrue. He's actually been married and divorced 4 different times. The magazine reported that Amos's first marriage was to Tracy Ann Smith Lang, and they divorced in 1994. In 1995, he and his second wife Shannon got married, but in 2000 they called it quits. His third marriage was to a woman named Christine, but they split in 2004. In 2016, Amos married his 4th wife, Jennifer Carol Marsh. However, they ended up divorcing in 2021. But Amos wasn't just dishonest about how many ex-wives he has. He made it sound like his 2000 bankruptcy filing was the last time he had serious money troubles. But according to the US Sun, Amos's second wife Shannon accused him of refusing to pay thousands of dollars in child support. Their daughter Tiffany was born in 1997, but Amos didn't have to make court-ordered payments until after Shannon filed for divorce. He was required to make child support payments of $373 each month from February 2001 until February 2015 when Tiffany turned 18. But in 2013, Shannon filed paperwork with the court claiming that Amos hadn't paid her until his wages started being garnished in 2008. But by then, the amount he owed in back child support was unreal. At the time, Amos allegedly owed Shannon a whopping $10,000 in unpaid child support. She also included in the petition paperwork that he was only paying the amount that was garnished from his checks, which was $125 a month. It's not publicly known if Amos was ever ordered to pay child support for his two oldest kids, Corey and Christina, who he shares with his first wife. But the U.S. Sun also reported that after his most recent divorce in 2021, Amos was left with about $20,000 in debt. Meri was taken advantage of financially by Cody and Robin for so long, so hopefully she knows to be more cautious with Amos. It looks like she's head over heels for him though, so she'd probably never expect that he would try to take her money. But recently, one of Amos's ex-wives anonymously told the U.S. Sun that he knew about Meri and her impressive finances. Supposedly, that's the main reason why he wanted to date her. That means Amos's story about not knowing who Meri was at first could be yet another one of his massive lies. But what his ex-wife revealed to the US Sun next was extremely creepy. Allegedly, Amos and his ex-wife used to watch Sister Wives along with other reality shows. She said that when they lived in Las Vegas, Amos would reportedly even try to find out where Meri lived. But she wasn't the only reality star he was interested in meeting. Amos's ex-wife mentioned that when they moved to California, he would supposedly go to gated communities to try to find out where the Real Housewives cast members lived. He was allegedly so fascinated with attempting to run into reality stars that his ex-wife considered it an obsession. If Amos's financial issues, marital problems, and flaky parenting didn't already remind Meri of Cody, their personality traits sound almost identical. His ex-wife claimed that he's a jealous and controlling narcissist, but she was reportedly stunned when she learned that he was dating Meri, and the reason why is seriously insane. Amos's ex-wife explained that he's also been opportunistic in relationships, but it's unlike him to date someone as famous as Meri. He said that he's due so many women for money, but he had previously kept a low profile while doing so. Amos has allegedly been involved with multiple women, and his ex-wife admitted that she didn't even know how many times he'd been married before her. They went to court to settle their divorce. She finally discovered how many former wives he really had. Amos's ex-wife also told the outlet that he had actually been dating someone right before he got into a relationship with Meri. If that's true, that makes him seem incredibly suspicious, and so does everything else that's recently been made public. It's almost impossible to know whether or not Meri was lying about Amos to try to keep his background a secret, but either way, it honestly sounds like she didn't know everything about his past. If he hasn't revealed very much to her, it makes sense why she was so vague in her introduction post. If Amos really is sketchy and manipulative like his ex-wife claims, hopefully Meri doesn't waste her time with him, but we'll just have to wait and see if any other bizarre details about him end up being exposed. It's also possible that a lot of this just isn't true, but now that we've talked about why Meri was being so mysterious about her new boyfriend, I want to know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on Amos now that he's seemingly been caught lying about his ex-wives, finances, and potentially way more? Do you think there's any truth to his ex-wife's claims that he's only with Meri because of her money? Let me know in the comments below.